Now, our grandmoms and our mums always recommended having milk with haldi, haldi wala doodh. Today, the West calls it turmeric latte with all its benefits. Would you believe it? मेरी मम्मी वीरा जी ने ये समाय के लिए knit किया है with her own hands. How incredible is knitting? Isn't it so beautiful? Our grandmoms and our mums are like scientists, but they do not even know it. Now, our grandmoms and our mums always recommended having milk with haldi, haldi wala doodh. Today, the West calls it turmeric latte with all its benefits. Our grandmoms always recommended waking up early. Today, science attributes it to clear thinking. Our grandmoms and our mums always talked about living a life with gratitude, shukar karna, which now science proves has amazing health benefits. Now, perhaps our grandmoms and our mums never recommended knitting, but we always saw them sitting and knitting, isn't it? We associated knitting with someone who's not that cool. It's a granny, it's an auntie, very old-fashioned. Until we saw Tom Daley, who completely redefined the art of knitting. Today, knitting is trending where a mindful activity is concerned, because we saw world-renowned champions doing so, especially Tom Daley, who is a gold medalist where diving is concerned. Such a trending Olympic champion, seen calmly knitting away where his cardigans and jumpers are concerned. So what makes knitting so amazing? Well, the repetitive and the rhythmic movements associated with knitting immediately calm you down, relieve you of anxiety, and they release this neurotransmitter which is called serotonin that instantly brings your blood pressure down, your heart rate down, and brings down the dangerous stress-producing hormone called cortisol. Now, knitting has amazing other benefits too. Psychologists say that people who are disturbed, depressed, anxious should engage in knitting. The more they knit, the more they will feel calmer and energized as well. Knitting is also brilliant for children, especially where reading and writing is concerned. Because when children knit, it's almost like threading up a story, going from left to right. It helps them focus and it helps them concentrate. It helps them hone their fine motor skills and their creativity burgeons. And of course, children are calmer and much more relaxed. Scientists have also gone so far ahead to compare knitting with meditation. And knitting is better because you at least get a cardigan and a jumper after that. Now let me explain to you about cognitive anchoring. What is cognitive anchoring? Well, it's an activity that helps you do something else better. No wonder world-renowned champion Tom Daley engages in knitting, which is a cognitive anchoring activity. Now, for example, you're a diver, or you're a researcher, or a filmmaker, or a businessman, and you're engaged in your work and you get stressed, isn't it? Now you want to take a break. If you watch a movie, or probably get on browsing where the internet is concerned, it helps you disconnect from your activity. But what it also does is it gets you into a semi-coma state. So it does not hone your skills. But where a cognitive anchoring skill is concerned, for example, knitting, or swimming, or walking in the park, or cooking, instantly relaxes you, but also helps you stay connected with the previous activity. No wonder Tom Daley engages in knitting, because he's a brilliant diver. He takes a break from his diving and starts knitting. But his brain is still connected with the diving, but the fear and the anxiety have completely diminished. And now for my most favorite takeaway, that knitting can help you quit addictions as fatal as drugs, drinking and smoking. Isn't it ironic that knitting is an addiction in itself, but it's a therapeutic addiction? So wouldn't it be amazing if we swap these fatal addictions with a very therapeutic addiction like knitting? Knitting is a rhythmic and a repetitive mindful activity. You can engage in similar activities like cooking, going for a walk bare feet, playing the piano, or perhaps singing. Anything that's repetitive and has a rhythm to it becomes a mindful activity. But this week on Mindful Mondays, I am recommending knitting. Wouldn't it be amazing to see these cool dudes and these cool women remove their knitting paraphernalia and get knitting? So big thanks to our grandmoms and our mums for inspiring us through generations. And a big thanks to Tom Daly for redefining knitting and getting it to trend where a mindfulness activity is concerned. Let's get knitting, my dear friends. Let's get knitting.